at the Glass Academy, 25331 Trowbridge Street, Dearborn, Michigan, 48124.
What else is in Dearborn?
A lot of things.
The home of Henry Ford and
Great Middle Eastern food.
Ford World Headquarters.
That's right. So we're here, but we are the glass blowing hub of Michigan. We're up there, but this is the experimental show. It's different than our Tuesday show.
We have a show on Tuesday. What's that called?
It's called The Gathering Point, and it's from 6 to 8, and we do custom orders, and we do all kinds of crazy, wild stuff. We burn things. We're going to start baking things in the oven. We're going to start having celebrities on the show pretty soon, too, but that's consistently 6 to 8 every week. And our tech support looks like she's having a really bad time over there. Is something the matter?
Is all a go? Okay.
We're okay.
Right. Never know.
It's been a rough day out here in the tech world. All those clouds up there are swirling around and whatnot. But
so the experimental show, Jacob and myself are going to make something with the words that you guys gave us. So right now, if you're watching this, there's a little chat bar in YouTube. Type in 4 words, and then we'll put them on our show. This week's words were products that we already make, Snowflake and Raindrop.
And here they are, folks. On the floor is this beautiful drawing of both a snowflake and a raindrop. And these are the percentages. It did take quite a minute. The percentages of who won in the voting. So 54 and 46. If you do the math, that means about 552 people voted on this, which is amazing. We love that kind of turnout. But Snowflake was the winner. So snowflakes, as well as raindrops, are products of the Glass Academy. So we'll rotate this for Zachary Lehman, the cameraman extraordinaire, to get a good shot of it. But
and so I mentioned I'm happy that we didn't get raindrops because there's not a lot you can do with raindrops.
I would have been really happy with raindrops.
Oh, really? This is our recycled blue. It changes all the time. We take these drips and we put this nice little hole in them so that you can hang them from a window. We sell them in a set of 3 or a single set, so that's already a product on our website, glassacademy.com. These are our unique snowflakes. The thing that's cool about these snowflakes is they're flattened, which isn't something when glass blowing you tend to blow things around. So these are flat, which is cool. We put some color on the tips of them, so they're very reflective. And we also use this tool that has a little pattern in it, so it makes these ribs and it makes it super reflective. So hanging in a window, again, it's beautiful. We chose these 2 words because we know people live all across the U.S., Europe, and beyond that buy our products. And so we wanted to see, were people in like Arizona, maybe raindrops, or were they seeing snowflakes? Are they in Montana or Wyoming or something where it's snowing, Michigan? So we have, I think it's like 24 degrees out. We do have some snow on the ground, not a ton, but Snowflake won. So I think I'm starting, yes?
You best be starting.
All right, so we're going to look at my little supply list over here. This is an item that is fused. It's a small piece of glass, and then we put some little glass hearts on top of it and melted them in. So what I want to make for the snowflake is, it's more fused glass, but I'm going to try a version of it hot to just see how it looks.
Did we want to show them our products from last week that we made? The moons from our 2 prompts that were moon and blue?
I don't know. Do those come
Maybe
on
we
the
can
Mailer
close the
Reveal?
show with that.
Okay.
It didn't come on the mailer reveal.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Okay, so we make some products during the year that make these colored strips of glass. This is called cane. And when we do this cane, sometimes we have leftover, it's not the right size, etc. So I took some of our scraps, and this is perfectly good color and product, so we use it for other things, but today I'm going to experiment with a snowflake. So pretend these beautiful little hearts are not there. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of glass, and then we're going to put these on our paddle, and the attempt is to do this.
I have some skepticism, ladies and gentlemen.
I know you do.
But
So-
that's okay, because that's what this is about. It's this experimental show. But we'll talk through that and we'll see, and that's what it's about. I mean, last week on our regular show, that's nothing experimental at all. We were breaking pieces. We had 2 pieces break on the show. And so it happens when we're not trying to. When we're getting experimental,
We're allowed
sometimes
to
it breaks more, sometimes that's cool. Sometimes we come up with a tremendous, incredible, mind-blowing idea. So that's what this is about.
Yes. So the theory is to take this and warm it up, and when it
To
warms
how
up,
hot?
they'll all stick.
Just put it in the oven at like 350?
Yeah. Cook it for 2 hours.
2 hours about.
We'll be back.
That's the recipe.
Glory hole, 2,400 degrees, maybe 2 minutes. We'll see.
It's a quarter of the temperature of the sun.
Okay, so I laid this out, and then I was like, to Jake's point, oh my God, that's a nightmare. Like, these are just gonna roll, and he's gonna come bring it back, and it's gonna look like this. So I went to plan B,
Oh.
which also that would have been big for a snowflake. The more
Food.
like appendages you have off, the greater chance they are to break. So think of like a famous sculpture, like a stone carving. If the person's got their arm up, usually the arm comes off, or the head comes off on a sculpture, right? Those appendages.
Or the you-know-what.
I wasn't gonna say that. This is a family show. Okay, so originally I started like, I think these would be really cool if they were melted together this way to
Yeah,
make
it would.
a snowflake.
Just balance them on there.
But that's the thing. How do you melt that together? So anyways, that wasn't going to happen, which reminded me, let's try the white
So
dot.
what's your third answer?
This.
Ah.
So how many of you out there have OCD personalities? I see 5
Everyone.
people raising their hand right now. So Jake, again, is not going to like this idea, but we're going to give it a
It's
go.
the same idea, just smaller.
It is. But that feels doable to me. Do we have twisties from class that are already flattened? Let's do that.
Yes.
Will you grab me some twisties?
Right here, let's grab the blue pile, folks.
Okay, so,
Quite the selection.
and you know, if you have another color you want me to,
Oh,
my
look at
gosh,
this.
we just solved it.
And there is the experimental for you, folks.
Oh, gosh, teamwork.
Now look at that. Does that not look like candy? And listen to that noise. Look at that. All different colors, different twists. This one's one of my favorites. But they're melted already one time so that you've got a flat side so they're not going to roll around. So she's going to line it up nice and cozy. And
I want them to match, so sorry, I gotta find
see,
some
we
that
got 2
match.
more right there. Oh, let's see.
So let's see. So snowflakes are all one of a kind, right?
But they're also completely symmetrical.
So what are you saying?
They're one of a kind, but just like you're doing here, if you got blue on one side and then you got orange on the other side, it's not a snowflake.
Okay, let me flip this over because that's kind of making
Orange
me nutty.
snowflakes are no good. That's perfect, and then you can tuck them under there a little bit.
Well, the patty I do won't be raised like that.
Oh, well, it should be maybe.
So in the future, if we slump them, they would stick together. You know, and even if we slumped them, we could do them slightly on the patty.
So you're gonna drop the patty on the taglia.
I'm gonna
and
drop
then-
the patty here and then scoot it on your you'll bring out the pastorelli, then we'll scoot it on the pastorelli and I'll line up these.
Why wouldn't you just put the whole thing on the pastorelli then? Or just put your thing and then cut the patty right onto there hot.
Because I'm gonna do the patty white and cut it off and squash it, then put it on the pastorelli, then put those around it.
Okay.
Just try it my way.
All right, yeah,
and
let's
we'll
do it.
adapt. Can I move this?
Get it out of there.
My lovely display is
So
moving
everything's
us.
hot and ready to go, folks. We took a nice trip, a really casual trip to Slugville this morning, and we made about 500 slugs. It felt like we went straight to Slugtown, and we were just birthing them all
What if
morning.
they don't know what Slugtown is?
And
Can
if you
please
don't know what
explain?
Slugtown is, folks, I'll let you set up for 1 second, and we'll take a quick walk into the gallery because slugs are our top seller, our hottest, cutest, trendiest, most historical and delicious piece that we have here at the Glass Academy. And if you just take a good look at them, here's a cutie. What? Oh yeah. Pretty darn cute. Zach's mom's got one for her birthday I think it was, or maybe Christmas birthday. But they all have completely different eyes. Look at this guy. Those are my favorite eyes that we have. They're $48 a piece. They take some serious work to get the eyes correct, but we've got about 8 different color families on the website. You pick and choose on the website, and we send you one. If you get 3, we place them together, and we make a beautiful set for you. Some of them are chunky and chubby. They really like their cornbread, and some of them are a little slimmer and a little faster, and they kind of slime around and get in the way sometimes. But either way, look at this chunker. Whoa! These guys are some of the cutest products that we have here at the Glass Academy, so we had to show those off. And now we're back in the action.
You are back in the action. You can show them the slug leftovers in the tray.
Oh, the giblets?
Yep.
Watch out for the slug giblets down here. It's kind of like the umbilical cord, where when you're making the slugs, they always leave behind a little bit of residue on the shop, and it's pretty cool. But we got our torch over here. Michelle's got everything lined up. We're gonna kind of just watch and see the way this goes down here.
Yeah, and I don't know that I was clear. The class, do they understand there was a flat side on those? Why I'm using those instead?
Yes, I clarified.
Okay.
So she's rolling it in the color right now. She's in the white. This is a gold color I had laid out for what I'm going to experiment with. But all the color that we use is regular glass. It's clear glass, but it has metals and minerals added to the glass that make it a certain color. And that is all the equipment, all the tools. There's nothing inexpensive in glass blowing. But
Will you bring me the pastorelli?
the metals and minerals added to color make color the most expensive thing that glass artists work with.
Okay, there's my disc. It's still a couple hundred degrees hot.
Couple hundred? It's probably 1,300 degrees.
So
You're gonna slide it on there, huh?
Well, I was if you would have gone them this way, but
I was going
since you
to.
didn't, I'll do it that way. Then, very quickly, it's going to be a finger burner.
See, this is, yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
What?
Looking good. So the tag is preheated. This is at about
That's the
1,000
thing.
degrees. So Michelle is sizzling her fingertips as she's placing this. She's risking it for the snowflake, as they say.
Ooh, and then I can put something blue in there.
And that's just beautiful. And now you want me to
Heat it
Oh.
up. What? Yeah,
We're starting to get
it's
hot. Yep, I was
already.
gonna say. So
Okay.
now with the steadiest of hands, this thing only weighs about 47 pounds. I'm going to slowly introduce it to the heat. I don't want to shock these pieces and give them the super blast, but it helps having them on a preheated paddle like this.
So I'm going to get another pair of tweezers.
So you can rotate it.
I don't know if I need to rotate it. It's kind of small, but when you bring it, I could just make sure they're aligned. Or not.
Well, they're not cracking, so I'm just going to give it the super blast. Glass starts to melt and slump right about 1350. So it depends on the thickness of the glass. Everything here is about the same thickness. I'm going to give it a little angle so the burner on the side tries to hit everything evenly. But as the things are slumping, I'll probably bring it out maybe like right now and let you kind of squish them together a little bit.
Yeah. And I think this is what I want to do. Bring it out and we'll talk. We have plenty of time. Zach, you can see how the
There we
tips
go.
are hot.
They're starting to connect. They're starting to have a little bit of malleability.
It's kind of weird how this one looks green.
It's actually looking pretty good. Let me give it a shuffle like a pizza.
So I'm going to... So this would be fusing. We wouldn't normally do it this way. This is a test. This is an experimental show. What I'd like to do, Jake, is do a patty of clear that I'll squash, and then we're going to take that and put it on the patty of clear to give it more of a stability. Those little things connected to the center panel aren't going to be enough.
Okay.
And then we'll like pancake it away in the annealer, and I can always like slump it a little more, but this is just kind of for the show.
Yeah, we'll just pancake it.
What was that?
We'll just pancake it.
Yeah.
I like that term.
Oh, Sam, there's another one for the words.
Folks, I wrote up the biography for my my monster on this Sunday's Monster Show, and this thing has been around. It's a pretty historical monster, folks.
Okay,
Its initials
so
are CM, but I won't tell you any more than that.
I need a clear disc like this. I'm going to put here, squash it, and then we're going to slide that on top.
So what do you want me to do?
Just keep it warm.
Okay.
Here's my high-tech squashing tool.
That's a serious one.
That's
She's going for the big old squasher.
Well, I want it like 3 inches or so.
So I think the idea is she's going to squash a clear patty on there. As soon as you touch it with the metal tool and squish it like that, it becomes pretty darn solid. The glass cools down really fast, so when she's thinking about the tool she's using, I think she brought that aluminum one out because it'll pull a little less heat out of the glass than if she used a big steel piece of metal to squash it.
So the thing is, if we did this in a slumping kiln, I'd also have, I could have a pattern under this to give a little more light reflection, which would be kind of cool.
Here goes the move.
High-tech squash mobile.
Onto the paddle. Onto the patty. Well placed. What do you want it on now? This again?
We could, then they'll fold a little, sure. Oh.
Son of a.
That's all right.
Lift it up and stick it on there after this
yeah,
one, maybe.
I think so too. We could torch if we needed to.
I'll try not to lose them.
This is the fast version of slumping.
Could you take a walk over here, Zach, and get a good zoom inside the hole and show people what this is looking like?
Do you want me to place that one?
If you fill up the whole like screen with the whole hole, it'll focus on what's going on inside of it.
Bring it out. Let me see if I can flip that guy on.
Before it's too hot.
Much. Oh, it's like little spider legs.
How'd that work? Did it happen? Nice stick, nice stick.
All right. Give it one more flash and we'll call it a day. Oh, but you know what I could do? Let's torch some blue in the center of that white. If I had one of those Snowflake Marinis, that would be perfect.
They're right over there.
That's all right. I'm going to use this for now. When you're ready, bring it to the bench. Isn't that cool?
You got it? Oh.
We're having fun with the camera. So the interesting thing about that is that Snowflake Marini, and that would be cool. All right, one more flash to even it out. And what annealer are we going into?
Going into number 1 over here.
All right, there's my attempt at a snowflake.
There it is, folks.
I do not put a glass loop on it because I prefer a metal loop glued to the back because it offers more stability. Once that glass loop breaks, there's no way to fix it.
This thing's hot, folks. You see this paddle still glowing red right now. That's about a 1/2 inch thick piece of, maybe a 3/4 inch thick piece of steel, and it's glowing red. So you know that we got some serious heat going on.
So all the people who want spiders at Halloween, which I hate making themed items like that, but that was a quick and easy.
It did look kind of spidery.
And you know what else is interesting? Watching cooking shows. I just get so much from the technique of like the baking shows and stuff like that, or the theme shows where they're like holiday baking. You just see all these ideas and they translate to what we do.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, well, nobody touch that because it's screaming hot. I'm going to, you know, we've made a lot of snowflakes and done some snowflake stuff, so my brain has been snowflaked out. I'm going to give this one snowflake I tried one more shot here, and then I'm going to explain a little bit of the process of what I'm going to be doing to those bonsai trees that I made one time on the experimental show, but we'll be making more of throughout this year. So I'm just going to wing it here, and
that's what I did.
I'll explain it to you as we do it.
It was 100%.
I'm going to start by making the core of the snowflake. I got a blowpipe. I'm going with clear glass. And this is going to be similar to how we make our tops to the acorns that we produce. Just a little gold on the outside ridge. I'm going to pop a bubble into it. I'm going to take this little fella into the pineapple mold, folks. This is going to give it some beautiful texture to it, a bunch of diamonds along the exterior of the surface, and I'm going to shape it up from there. So I will be taking a bench blow. Will you tuck that in the corner of the bench? Have the two forks going around the corner?
I thought it was too far away, but maybe I'm short. I don't do this enough to know.
Below. Good.
Oh, fancy, fancy. So technically he's squeezing the glass together, and that air that we just blew in there is actually pushing it out. I can feel it.
Below. Good.
Ooh, are you going to cut it?
I could try that. Cutting this might be interesting.
Like cutting it up?
Yeah, like this?
Yes, and then pulling each thing out.
Yeah, that might be interesting. Maybe we'll try it on this one. I had a different idea. We'll try that second. The trick will be getting it hot enough to cut it without melting out all the texture.
Right.
So
then
it's
it just comes down to speed and
agility, fragility.
Like running the marathon, the Olympics. You got to practice a bunch before you get to the final run.
So I'm heating it up. The trick also is that I got this thin connection onto the pipe. So I want to heat up this disc, but that connection is so close to the disc that once that gets hot and crazy, it's going to be flopping left and right. And
that's what shows the skill of the glass blower.
That's dangerous.
The precision of doing the cuts. So there's another thing too that we do when we spit out the discs that make our rondelles. When the glass gets hot and you spin it, the kind of centrifugal force pulls it out. Now this is a little thicker. I don't know that that would happen, but heating it up, he's just smoothing out those rough edges.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically how we make our other snowflakes.
Yeah, but not in the pineapple mold, and that's pretty reflective. It looks pretty cool to me. Another thing we do is we do workshops with other glass artists that make different items, and just watching them work and manipulate the tools, you always learn something new, because there's ways to reach into the glass and define it, or push or pull it in different ways.
Kind of just looks like a nice flower.
Well, maybe there's our Mother's Day flower.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, there it isn't.
Calm down. You're gonna torch it over here?
Oh, I'm just gonna trash it.
No, no, no. We save it to show everyone. Oh!
Son of a.
Oh, I adjusted this wrong, so. Help.
You got it?
I got it.
All right, there it goes.
Well, that's slow.
Sorry, cameraman.
We got to slide those all the way in the back because there's room for a happy hour, but I can scoot them back.
Okay.
So now we'll do take 2 on that piece here. About the same amount of glass. And then, yeah, we're just going to take a look. See how she goes. This one I'm going to add, I'm just going to get that base and leave the texture and then add some pieces to the outer rim. And the trick that I was explaining or talking to Michelle about is that it's really hard to make those, and she mentioned it in the beginning, these like thin and wide flat pieces, because the thinner the glass gets, the harder it is to heat up or to hold its temperature. So the wider and thinner we make it from the pipe, the less you're going to be able to keep it malleable and shape it the way you want. Hello? Good. All right, so I'm going to take a clear piece to go, a trail to go all the way around this on the outside. And I'd like it to be like, probably like that tall sticking off of it so I can go around and cut it a bunch of times. Right now I'm going to iridize right away that gold so that when I cover it up with clear, it traps the iridescence of that color underneath it. So I just introduced the bling bling effect to it. Here comes some clear.
Barbara, to a point.
Yeah, give it one little pointed angle, yeah.
I thought you were gonna.
Looking pretty sunflowery.
That darn nature, it all looks the same.
I think this one's just going to be also pretty experimental here, as is the experimental show. Might not make it, but let's see what happens when I do this move.
Here's the thing. You gotta experiment.
Wow!
Jesus, Jake.
You all right?
Yeah, that was unexpected.
Off the hand. Oh my God, are you okay?
Yeah.
Woo! That went off a lot quicker than I was expecting.
Same.
Oh yeah, you smell the sizzle.
Well, now that's looking kind of raindrop-ish.
Yeah, it's pretty raindropish. It's kind of mushroomy. And that's how we drew the day up right there, folks. Holy moly. Well, that's my piece. Not saving it because there's some thinner pieces, sharp pieces coming off of it. And it's also not snowflakey at all. There's no symmetry to it. It's pretty crazy how those are hopping back and forth. But there we go, folks. Another day in the glass shop. We got a couple pieces on the floor here. You never really want to be throwing glass around. Usually that happens with the raindrop when you're trying to drip it out, and that's kind of what that was on a vertical scale. But this one's not getting saved. That darn thing. When was the last time you were burned, Mom?
Okay, so people always ask you, do you burn yourself?
It's never you that burns yourself. It's the truth. That's what we always say.
And you, like, if you burn yourself, you know you're learning something new because you're pushing yourself. So it's totally fine. fine. It's no big deal. But the thing in the glass shop is you always just get ice on it right away, and that helps it. So I've got some ice on it. We're all good.
Here we go, folks. Jeez.
Next time, it's a little bit of heads up.
God.
All right.
Well,
Yes, go look at the moon.
let's check out the moons, folks. Let's get out of here. The moons are from our last week's show. We were given the words blue and moon to go off of. And these are what both Michelle and I had came up with. Set them on the white table here. That's showing the color of Michelle's. Really nice. She put these cool, kind of like blood cell-like moon crater pieces on here. And I did grind it. I didn't know if you wanted it round or flat, so I left it.
I like it. I'm going to do a wood base for it, because hold it up to the light if you can get it. The light.
Well, I had it on the white background. It looks pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But if we put it up with some light back there, yeah.
So that was the recycle. It was pretty dark that day, right? Being solid like that.
I think that was not. Maybe it was recycled with the with some blue on top of it. Yeah.
So pretty cool.
And then I had done this platform, this really cool kind of like Venetian folded lip, sweet-looking little stand for this little crater-filled moon piece. And he's pretty cool. That just sits on there. It's something to have on your desk that you can just play with and have a good time and toss it back and forth with your friends without hurting them. And
All right, so the experimental show, boy, it's fun.
It's experimental.
Yeah, every time. So thank you. We hope you have a wonderful Sunday. We will do this every week. You can float around on our YouTube channel, enjoy some of the other videos that we did. There's lots of excitement in there.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you guys on Tuesday, 6 to 8. We've got some beautiful pieces coming up. I think we've got a large gnome we're making.
It's
7-incher.
the Monster Show.
And we do have the monster
Coming
show
Tuesday.
on Sunday. Oh, I see. But on Sunday.